Okay, let's just get right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're basically going to completely redefine what it takes to succeed. If you've ever felt like you're just surviving the daily grind, or maybe you're looking around wondering why someone else seems to have all this natural talent while you're just stuck in the mud, well, get ready for a pretty major paradigm shift. Today, we're unpacking the true mechanics of personal growth, because honestly, everything you thought you knew about failure, success, and your own potential, it's probably wrong.
So, do you have what it takes to succeed? It's a really heavy question, right? I mean, we all share this universal human desire to overcome adversity and hit our goals. But you see people at the absolute top of their game, whether that's in business, sports, the arts, and man, it is so easy to just assume they were born with it. Like they just got handed this magical genetic lottery ticket that makes success completely effortless. And, if you don't have it, you're just out of luck.
But here is the reality check we all need. Talent is totally overrated. Grit wins. Yeah, absolutely. The whole idea that some innate God-given talent is the primary requirement for achievement, it's largely a myth. The research actually shows that world-class performance isn't about being born a genius at all. In fact, relying purely on natural talent can be a huge trap. True greatness is about something far more accessible to every single one of us. But fair warning, it is incredibly demanding.
The actual science behind that greatness comes down to a concept called deliberate practice. Now, this isn't just mindless repetition or, just playing around in your comfort zone. It is highly structured, deeply effortful work that's focused specifically on your weaknesses to build these complex mental models over time. And yeah, it's mentally exhausting. It pushes you right outside your current capabilities. But this is exactly how top performers literally rewire their brains to see patterns and make vastly superior decisions. It's the sweat, the hyper-focus, and the deliberate targeting of your own flaws that builds mastery, not your genetics.
So how does this actually play out in our daily lives, especially when things get genuinely tough? For a long time, I thought dealing with hardship just meant endurance, just toughing it out, holding on through the pain, and basically wearing exhaustion like some kind of badge of honor. But endurance is depleting. Honestly, it's a cage. True resilience, on the other hand, is about growing, transforming, and restoring yourself. Endurance says, I can take it. But resilience says, I can transform it. There's this saying that just perfectly captures it. Endurance keeps you standing. Resilience helps you rise. We really need to stop equating our exhaustion with our worth. Going back to the exact thing that broke you isn't growth, it's regression. Setting your boundaries, resting without feeling guilty about it, and deliberately choosing where you put your energy, those aren't acts of weakness. They are profound acts of strength and self-leadership. If you're just tolerating a toxic environment because you tell yourself you're not a quitter, you are just enduring. You're not evolving. And that brings us right to the psychological concept of grit. Think of it kind of like having this steadfast grip on a sheer rock face. It's your propensity to maintain effort and interest over years, despite all the failures, the adversity, and those super frustrating plateaus in progress. It's kind of like Aesop's fable of the tortoise and the hare, right? Talent might make you a really fast hare right at the starting line. But hares get easily discouraged, they get distracted, and they literally take naps mid-course. The gritty tortoise just stays the course, steadily laboring toward the destination, and ultimately, that's who wins the race.
To really hammer this concept home, Will Smith once framed this beautifully. He said, "I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die." I mean, wow. He freely admits that other people might be smarter or more talented or have him beat in 9 different categories. But his willingness to just outwork absolutely everyone else, his unwavering stamina for long-term goals, is his ultimate equalizer. Grit really is treating life as a marathon, not a sprint.
And look, if you think the absolute greatest among us didn't face massive, crushing setbacks, let's look at the data. Michael Jordan, he was literally cut from his high school basketball team. He missed over 9,000 shots in his career and lost nearly 300 games. I just want to let that massive weight settle with you for a second. 9,000 missed shots. Yet he never quit. He used every single one of those failures as fuel to deliberately practice and become, arguably, the greatest basketball player of all time. Or how about Oprah Winfrey? She was fired from her first television reporting job in Baltimore because a producer literally deemed her unfit for television. Seriously, imagine hearing that early in your career. It could completely destroy you, right? But instead of merely enduring that defeat, she exhibited incredible resilience. She turned a devastating rejection into deep wisdom and ultimately built a multi-billion-dollar media empire that absolutely changed the world.
You see this exact same mindset in Thomas Edison. His teachers actually called him too stupid to learn anything. And when he was trying to invent the light bulb, he failed 10,000 times. But here's the kicker. He didn't see those failures as permanent deficits or as some sign that he lacked talent. He saw them as essential data points. He simply figured he'd found 10,000 ways that didn't work. Treating your failures as data rather than destiny is the true hallmark of a resilient, growth-oriented mindset.
Now, what's really fascinating is that this concept isn't just some modern psychology trend. Having true grit in the face of despair is an ancient, universal virtue. Just look at these historical examples of unwavering faith in adversity from the Bible. Job remained completely faithful despite losing his wealth, his health, his entire family. Joseph held on to his dreams through betrayal and unjust imprisonment, long before he ever rose to lead Egypt. Moses faced literal decades of obstacles trying to lead his people through the wilderness. And Paul, he tirelessly spread his message despite shipwrecks and intense persecution. Their stories really show us that powerful faith and perseverance can overcome the most seemingly impossible circumstances.
Okay, so how do we actually build this into our own lives? Well, it really comes down to 4 practical tools in what we can call your daily resilience toolbox. Step 1, thinking tools. You've got to learn to identify those unhelpful thoughts and start reframing problems into constructive outcomes. Step 2, behavioral tools. Identify your unhealthy habits and build an effective support network. And hey, know when to ask for help. Step 3, physical tools. Recognize your own stress triggers and practice mindfulness to actually manage your physiological energy. And finally, step 4, lifestyle tools. You really need to take a step back, examine what's out of balance, and establish daily routines that actively protect your well-being. The absolute crucial point here is that building this resilience and maintaining your well-being, it's a daily intentional practice. It requires consistent, everyday application. You can't just passively suffer through pressure and, cross your fingers and hope it gets better. You have to actively pick up these tools every single day to readdress your imbalances, to lower your stress, and to deliberately practice your way to improve performance.
So, if there is one core thing you take away from this explainer today, let it be this. Stop surviving. Start soaring. Please, don't just settle for endurance. Don't just take the hits and wear your exhaustion like a badge of honor just because you're afraid of looking like a quitter. You have this immense, incredible capacity to build complex skills through deliberate practice, to bounce back from literal thousands of failures, and to grow deeply through your pain rather than just white-knuckling it and holding on.
I want to leave you with one final, really honest question to ask yourself today. Have I been enduring when I should be evolving? Seriously, are you just tolerating the storm right now, or are you ready to pick up these tools, build true grit, and actually transform your life? Think about what you're tolerating right now that no longer aligns with who you want to be. Start practicing deliberately, start building that resilience toolbox, and start evolving. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explaining.